It's the late hour of what, 9 p.m., 9:24 p.m. A tourbillon is headed this way. It might have more than one tourbillon inside of it. We don't know.
It sounded like there was a yo dog. It was like, yo dog, I heard you like tourbillon. So we put a tourbillon in your tourbillon so you can twirl while you twirl.
Actually, the tourbillon of tourbillons is 3 tourbillons all dancing in the tourbillon. Just so you know.
Clearly we are losing it here, and it's only the end of day 1. Rolex. That's
Rolex.
where things started.
Yeah.
Last year, we didn't put a single Rolex watch on our top 10 list.
That's true.
This year, easily the GMT Master 2 Pepsi bezel.
For you guys.
Just for sheer commercial viability.
Yeah. 8,800 Swiss francs for the one on the oyster steel, because they are calling it now oyster steel.
Already sold out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 years of waiting list, and it's not even.
So
Theoretical,
hypothetically, so
8,800.
you're a white gold GMT Master 2 owner. What is your mood right now?
Okay, I was
I don't
into
think
that
you're
watch.
happy.
I was into that watch.
We were into, yeah.
You want to know why I'm not happy?
What is that?
I'm not happy because of the new movement. It's
Oh,
not the old
yeah.
movement, there's anything wrong with it, and
Yeah.
I'm not even sure why I want the new movement.
Yeah. The new moves are
But
good.
there's a new movement in there.
Yeah, the oyster bracelet on the GMT Master 2 only comes on if it's a Pepsi, because if it isn't, it can still be a Batman or it can be whatever else.
Batman-
But that's
Continue.
ultimately the discernible difference between the two is...
Oh my god! Guys, just go to your 80, put your name on the freaking list,
Just buy it.
and just get a Pepsi or get the root beer if you like the GMT Master 2. If you don't go
So
to your
why don't you tell
80.
everyone why are you saying that? Like,
What am I
the-
saying? Why?
No, I mean, I agree with you, but explain some context. Why go to your friendly neighborhood Rolex salesperson?
Because if you don't go there, someone else will go there, and then someone else will go there, and the next time you go there, people will tell you, oh, it's a 4-year waiting list or a 3-year
Yeah.
waiting list, because there is what we sense is a cutback on steel watches from major brands.
Yeah, so our prediction is that Rolex is essentially going to deliver steel sport watches very, very slowly.
They
On
have been
purpose.
shipped for over a quarter now, I believe.
Of steel sport watches?
Yeah.
Plenty of gold going around.
Well,
And two-tone. It's funny because if you think about it, you can get, well, the retail on the steel Daytona is 12,000. They're trading for like 18 and 19,000
20,
online if
yeah.
you want to buy it somewhere. But you can get a two-tone for like 15.
Well,
With a yellow gold in
let's
it.
ask the interesting question of what is Rolex actually doing? Right? They are making a decision to sacrifice short-term profits for what they believe is long-term gain by increasing the value or the street value of their watches. Do we agree that that's essentially what's going on? Because there's no reason why Rolex can't make a bunch more of this.
The industry is saying two-tone is trendy, but are consumers actually agreeing with the industry? Because we're seeing a lot of two-tone stuff, but I feel like the reaction to it is pretty mixed at best.
Good point.
Whereas when we saw bronze, for example, or we saw other kind of very predominant trends, like consumers responded by opening their wallets. And
There's
I
a
mean,
lot of two-tone this year.
there's a
though.
lot of two-tones.
We were there for
And
like
I
a
don't
few
feel like
hours.
I don't feel like I heard anybody on the show floor saying like, yeah, two-tone is the next bronze.
Okay,
It's the- you know, it's
Who
just,
are we talking
I think
to?
it is.
Who are
you
we
think
talking to?
two-tone is?
Yeah, it's coming
Because
back.
we're talking to, look, so I talked to
it's
the
coming
companies.
back, but do people want it back? We said the same thing last year with Tudor's, the Black Bay two-tone that they introduced then. And there was a lot of buzz around two-tone coming back, and we're seeing more of it this year, but I still don't feel like there's demand for it. I could be wrong.
In your market, there isn't.
Maybe not.
See, in your market, people either want like a
Let's
luxury,
specify what market that is.
the West Coast of the United States.
Okay.
Two-tone is, there's two reasons to get two-tone. One is you want gold, but you don't want to pay full gold price. And oftentimes you can get a pretty good value. If you really don't want to pay gold, but you want some gold, you get a pretty good deal with two-tone.
And it's not just price, it's less ostentatious.
It's less ostentatious, and then that goes to point number 2 of like what two-tone is good for. It's like, I don't want to look as pedestrian as steel,
Yeah.
but I don't want to look as like, I don't know, insert adjective here
Yeah.
of a guy wearing a full gold watch.
Yeah.
How much more weird do you want to get than a moth?
That's a butterfly.
That's not a butterfly. That looks a lot like
It
a
is a
moth.
moth that comes.
Well, moths are cool too, I guess. Huh?
And when I'm feeling like I don't want to know what time it is, I just
Exactly.
flip
It
that
really
over.
goes from day to night on you. It
Seamlessly.
really does.
Oh, we have a debate.
Tag Heuer.
Tag Heuer.
Caliber 16.
Mhm.
That watch is.
Our watch is awesome.
Yeah.
It's
About
it's
4.5
amazing
grams?
because it's
Yeah.
it's as thin as the Heuer edition should have been from last year, which is overly thin,
The
and too
Octavia.
long in the Octavia.
It's
yeah.
just a 7750. It's just the entry level
Yeah, but it's
Carrera.
thinner. The lug to lug is shorter. The dial aperture is a little bit smaller. It's just like the
It's a 40.
proportions
It's a
are
41.
dialed.
It's a 41.
Yeah.
Those proportions
Yeah,
always
that's
been good.
really
It's just
good.
there's nothing new about that. They just gave it a vintagey style look, and it looks good.
It's a great looking watch.
It looks really nice. And then
Panda's
the other
hot.
end of the
You can't go wrong
spectrum,
with Panda right now. You really can't.
you can't. You can never go wrong. And then you have,
Yeah.
you have Tag Heuer's chronograph GMT
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
with their Batman bezel,
Mm-hmm.
which I think was unnecessary. I think that
And
watch
it's too
was-
large.
It's
45.
unbearably thick.
It's too thick, it's too
Too
large, it's just too everything, you know.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know how
but
many millimeters
who goes
thick it
into
is,
a
but
store-
it's-
Yeah, it's a
like
burger.
I
It's a hockey
don't,
burger.
I don't know why they so patently need to take a watch that has nothing to do with other watches out there and then be like, oh, Rolex did a bezel like this, let's do it too.
Mm.
And they're not the only one. They're by no means the only one. Like, Rolex and Tudor would come out with like, remember the Black Bay had the I guess it was like kind of the reddish maroon bezel?
Yeah.
And then you just saw everyone's like, oh, let's have a reddish maroon colored bezel.
Yeah, that's a good point. 3 years ago.
Yeah, just like a ton of them.
Yeah.
So Rolex had the blue and black GMT Master 2 bezel.
Mm.
And now Tag, that literally the year that Rolex is discontinuing it,
Yeah.
is saying, oh, now we've done the same thing. And here's the thing.
It's not easy. I mean, you have a limited number of options for a bezel color for a GMT watch where you have to have a rotating 24-hour bezel.
Look, if they're trying to make the value proposition point, they're doing a good job. It's about $6,000
Mm.
for the Heuer 02 GMT. You have a really nice chronograph and a GMT and the ceramic two-tone bezel for about $6,000, where the Rolex one, of course, without the chronograph is like $2,000 more.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
So it's really good if you're like at a store and you're trying to compare. So
It's
for
not
people
apples
like
to
us,
apples.
Yeah.
You know, just because we saw them on the same day, even, I mean, like, that watch is appealing to a wholly different type of person who's going to appreciate the size of that watch and wants that kind of cool GMT look. It's huge compared to any Rolex out
Yeah.
there. That kind of buyer is going to be a younger, a different demographic than any Rolex watch.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no Rolex alternative in terms of size and functionality, but there is a Rolex alternative for that price. So if I say I have
Absolutely.
like $6,500 to burn on a watch, maybe I throw in another $1,000 and I just get myself a Submariner or whatever.
well, you know, the watch that was the same size as essentially the new Deep Sea,
But it's a whole lot more. How much is that?
double the price.
Yeah, so
Double the price.
I don't know.
So Tag Heuer is delivering good value right now.
Yeah. Tomorrow we're seeing a whole bunch of other brands. Hopefully more people on the Baselworld alleys.
I kind of like this low amount of human beings.
Yeah, we won't get started on why this year was so slow for us. I mean, today was press day, no, distributors and no retailers. Super slow day today. Ariel will explain that to you later on in a feature article in 4,000 words, sometime in July, I believe.
4,000 words or more.
Stay tuned for that, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.